Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the West Ada School District. It is Monday, October 13th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We're very grateful tonight to have Mary McPherson Elementary School here to lead us in the pledge. Will everyone please stand?
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if you'd stay here, we'll take a quick picture. All right, thank you so much. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are none.
All right, we'll turn the time over to Dr. Bubb.
Madam Chair, trustees, I just have two items. First one is parent-teacher conferences were last week. I want to have a big shout out to our teachers who spend that extra time. I think it's just a strong example of what the collaboration between families and our schools is all about. I was able to attend several conferences, not of my own kids, but several conference sessions around the district, and it was just great to see teachers and parents collaborating to make sure that our students are successful. So thank you to everybody involved in those. And then the second one is, today is the best day of the year for me. Every single year I got to serve lunch over at Meridian Middle School. Being able to give kids lunch every single day is an absolute highlight, but I want to take a minute just to thank our food nutrition services people that work really hard to make sure that our kids have food in their body and they're ready to go in both for breakfast and lunch. And so being able to just be a little part of that was great. And thanks for the hospitality at Meridian Middle School. It's amazing when you start to think about what our food nutrition services department does across the district. We serve, we are probably the largest restaurant organization in the state of Idaho. So we serve right around 10,000 kids a day to make sure that they have the appropriate food and ready to go learn after lunch and when they get to school. So thank you to them. Hopefully they feel supported, but it's always great to be able to hang out with them. And Chair Frazier was also with us and did a great job making sure our kids are fed. So thank you so much. I would now like to bring up Mrs. Arsenault to talk a little bit about Mary McPherson, and she's all the way in the back. There you are.
Good evening, Chair Frazier, trustees, and Dr. Bubb. I'm honored to be here tonight to share a few of the amazing things happening at Mary McPherson Elementary, proudly known as Mary Mac. Many people are surprised when they learn that despite our small school feel, Mary Mac serves over 500 incredible students every day, and I get to witness connected community of learners and leaders who truly make our school a special place to be. At Mary Mac, we live by the Wildcat Way, being respectful, responsible, safe, and kind. And those values show up in every hallway and classroom. Our students are growing not just academically, but also as thoughtful, kind, and capable individuals. We have committed to continually focus on our learner powers, also known as Mary Mac Pride: persistent, reflective, independent, driven, and engaged. These qualities represent the kind of learners we want our students to become. Learners who know what they are working toward, understand how to get there, and take ownership of their progress. We have connected our learner powers directly to our clarity work, making sure students know what they are learning, why it's important, and how they will know when they have been successful. Every classroom at Mary Mac begins with clear learning intentions, success criteria, so students can see the purpose behind their learning and reflect on their growth. We worked hard in the spring to create a culture of excitement around our end of year state assessments. Our testing theme was Time to Shine, and our students truly did that. In the spring of 2025, our 3rd through 5th graders were 61% proficient on their math ISAT, and our 4th and 5th grade students were 73% proficient on their ELA ISAT. Our students in kindergarten through 3rd grade were 78% proficient on the Idaho Reading Indicator. We're also incredibly proud of our intervention and extension systems. Our WIN, What I Need groups ensure that every student gets the right level of challenge and support, whether it's a student closing a reading gap or extending their mathematical thinking. We're seeing measurable success and strong engagement across all grade levels during our dedicated WIN time. There are so many things that make Mary Mac such a special place to learn and grow. One of them is our Kindness Club, where students find ways to serve others and spread joy across our school and community. From greeting students in the morning to helping younger students on the bus, organizing food drives and collecting pop tabs for charity, their kindness shines in everything they do. We also have our Wildcat Walkers program. During afternoon recess, students can run, walk, jog, or skip their way around our track. Laps are tallied and celebrated with special recognition for every marathon that's completed. This program wouldn't be possible without our amazing Fuel Up to Play 60 ambassadors, who help set it up and clean it up at every recess. Our Fuel Up to Play ambassadors also organize monthly games at our lunch recess to help keep our school active, energized, and motivated. After school, many of our students and staff participate in Soul Kids, which is a running program where staff volunteers run alongside students in the fall and the spring. And each season, they end with a 5K celebration. Another amazing opportunity at Mary Mac is our Drama Club, run by our talented 4th grade teacher, Miss Drake. Students in grades 4th and 5th give up their lunch for 4 months of rehearsals leading up to their end of the year performance. Last spring, they performed Wonka Kids, and we can't wait to see what show they're going to bring to life this year. At Mary Mac, we gather monthly as a school to review our Wildcat Way values, set new intentions, and celebrate the good happening across our classrooms. There, we recognize 18 students and 1 staff member who've gone above and beyond showing the Wildcat Way, being respectful, safe, and kind, or by living one of our learner powers, being persistent, reflective, independent, driven, or engaged. We always take a few minutes to dive a little bit deeper into those traits and talk about what it looks like and sounds like, and celebrate the great things happening at our school. It's a fun and meaningful way to connect our community and remind our students what makes Mary Mac such a special place to learn and grow. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize our incredible PTO, who help create unforgettable experiences for our students like Paint Night, STEM Night, our Jogathon, and the amazing end-of-year carnival. I'm so proud of our students and staff for the incredible growth and connection they bring to our school community each day. Since opening its doors in 1959 as Southside Elementary, Mary McPherson has served generations of learners and families. When you walk through our doors, you can feel the pride, the laughter, and the love that make Mary Mac such a special place to be. Thank you for your continued support and for allowing me to highlight just a few of the amazing things happening at Mary McPherson Elementary.
Ms. Arsenal, I'll just really quickly say what you didn't mention was it also has probably the best view of any campus in our district. If you go up there, it's up on the ridge and has a beautiful view of the mountains. And so, yeah, thank you so much for your leadership. You've done a great job over there. We appreciate you. I'd now like to, I feel like I just met with Renaissance High School, so I get to see hear a repeat of this. And I'd love to bring up, I don't know if Ms. Richmond's going to come up, and our youngest, I see we have our youngest West Ada family member here. But it looks like Ms. Eddie's going to come up and talk a little bit about Renaissance High School.
Good evening, Chair Frazier, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Bub. I stand here just extremely honored to represent our school this evening. Our theme this year is Anchored Strong, and I wanted to just begin with, very quickly, the tale of our Voyagers, which set sail in 2009. The goal of the district was to chart a bold new course for West Ada, opening an IB school. So as an international baccalaureate school, we navigate with a global compass, preparing our students to sail confidently into an interconnected world. And that leads us to current time, that today's Voyager is still rooted in that drive to be globally minded, curious, a critical thinker, and one who embraces the challenge to succeed. Extremely proud this evening to introduce to you two of our student council representatives, Annika Potts, ASB Secretary, and Henry Georget, our ASB Vice President, to come and please share with you some of our statistics and how well our students are doing at Renaissance High School.
Hello, I'm Monica.
And I'm Henry. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you for your time and for us being able to present to you today. So,
Okay, let's talk about achievements. And this kind of shocked me, but this was just in the 2024 to 2025 school year alone. So, last year, 100% of our students that tested for their IB diploma got their diploma. And 100% of students that tested for their IB career program certificate got their career program certificate. This was a first for Renaissance, and we hope that it'll continue forever. That's like very impressive. Yeah. So, along with that, let's talk about our Associates of Arts program, where West Ada, as a whole in the district, had 130 students obtain their Associates of Arts degree through ISU last year. But 76 of those were from Renaissance, which is more than half for one of the smallest high schools in the district. And according to Apply Idaho, Renaissance had about 95% of our senior students apply for colleges when the state average is about 55%, showing that tremendous change at Renaissance.
on to achievements. In 2025, Renaissance had a 99% graduation rate, 83% of students attending post-secondary school, and 15% going into volunteering or the workforce, and 2% joined the military. We also received the FAFSA award with 82% of students completing FAFSA forms in comparison to the 41% state average, meaning that we doubled it. In addition, Niche had gave us the #1 ranking for traditional high schools in Idaho.
Now, let's talk about some of the student side, some of the honors and awards that we got. So, last year, we were the 2025 National Academic Champions in our division.
And we also got first in state speech and first in state debate.
Along with that, multiple different RHS students placed nationally in multiple CTE-related competitions, such as FCCLA, HOSA, and TSA.
In addition, we also got first and third in the Science Bowl competition. So let's now talk about some of our celebrations that we've had as a school.
So, part of the IB requirement for both the diploma program and the career program is that there's a service-based aspect to it. And because of this, Renaissance has had the amazing opportunities to start working on tutoring centers in middle school and high schools, which continues to grow. Along with that, other students have helped create websites for AMC math competition, practicing and training, and podcasts to address successful habits within our high school for success. And these are just one of many of the service-based projects that our students lead and direct.
In 2009, it might have seemed like a big leap of faith to have an IB school in the West Ada School District. However, since that time, we've seen the IBCP program and the IBDP program grow exponentially, proving that we have the 100% graduation rate with that, and that will continue. In addition, we have a 96% daily attendance average.
Now, we got to talk about some academic celebrations, if not for what was said before. This year, we had 6 National Merit Scholarship people that got the scholarship itself, along with 4 commendations. For a school this size, we are really proud to say this.
And one of the most important things about Renaissance, besides all the academics, is our culture. This year, we had a record-breaking homecoming dance ticket sales of 484, including the student council, which makes it more than 2/3 of our total school population. And since we don't have that sports aspects, we make our own sports. We do a student and staff volleyball game at the very beginning, things between the seniors, and this year, the seniors actually beat the staff, which was really fun to watch. And we have a really strong culture of pitching in and helping each other out.
So another one of the projects that were created because of IB's requirement for service were the 4 tutoring centers for Renaissance, which this year got combined all into one center called the Lighthouse. This is a student-trained and led tutoring program in math, English, science, and in world languages, where the students can come in and basically be led and taught by other students. There's also a huge increase in clubs this year, thanks to our Club Rush, which we started last school year and hope to continue on as a tradition now, along with the unique offerings that some of our clubs impose and student interest in being active and participating in our school.
Culture continued is last year we started a new thing called the Roundabout Rumble with IFA, the battle of the parking lot, in which we had a soccer game, and obviously Renaissance won. And this year we're hoping to combine with IFA to have a talent show all together to build that community between the small schools. We're also hosting a fall festival on August 18th as a fundraiser for the senior celebrations. And at the end, during the winter, we hope to host a winter dance, especially for those in the freshman and sophomore year who can't attend things like prom.
And just more overall culture, something that I've seen in my 3 years of Renaissance is that we celebrate each other's wins so much. Literally everything that we do, that we accomplish, gets celebrated, and that's so nice at Renaissance. And this could not be done without our wonderful teachers here. Seriously, teachers, in my opinion, make or break students, and at Renaissance, and I hope every other school, they definitely make them. But I am so grateful to say that our teachers at Renaissance are amazing, and our students are amazing. Students help the teachers out, teachers in return help the students out. So it's really amazing. And a little fun fact is that a lot of graduates that come back to Renaissance say that the level of rigor that our school provides made college almost a breeze for them, and honestly just such a head start for their future, whether that's in or out of college.
Ultimately, Renaissance is a school that stands out for not only its diversity, its academic challenges, and also its unique community. And once again, we thank you so much for having your time with us today.
Before you take off, we want to take a quick picture with you, so can you guys come up front and we'll come down. Yeah, let's invite all the Renaissance folks to come on up. Next on our agenda this evening is Patron Input. We did not have anyone sign up tonight for Patron Input, but I just always remind everybody that this portion of our agenda is meant for those items related to the agenda. Always will limit that to 2 minutes, and always encourage people to speak to policy, to procedure, to kind of those high-level items. So as people consider coming and speaking to those things in the future, just know that's what we'll be looking for. With that, I'm open to a motion on consent agenda. Trustee Benetti.
I move that we accept the consent agenda unanimously.
Do I have a second? Trustee Redford.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That will take us to old business. If we can invite up Dr. Reinhardt to speak to us on policy 716.10.
Madam Chair, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Bubb, I am here for the second reading of Policy 716.0 and its accompanying AR 0716.10 716.10. As you heard in the first reading, Policy 716 affirms the Board of Trustees' responsibility to maintain a thorough and efficient system of public education, which includes the authority to decommission schools when necessary. The policy directs the superintendent or designee to conduct periodic reviews of district facilities and, when appropriate, bring recommendation to the board. These reports must outline the decommissioning process, disposition of the property, and include substantial staff and community input while remaining consistent with Idaho Code. The key update since the first reading of this edition is the defined timeline. The final decommissioning report to the board will be at its last regularly scheduled meeting in November. This timeline ensures staff, parents, students have sufficient time to prepare for transitions and allows families the opportunity to apply for schools of choice or open enrollment at another school. The accompanying administrative regulation provides the operational framework for implementing this policy. It details how the facility reviews are conducted, requires board engagement with stakeholders, and outlines a process for presenting the final report. I will stand for any questions.
Any comments or questions? Trustee Benetti?
Thank you very much, Dr. Reinhardt. Appreciate it. As many people are aware, this paragraph was added in response to community feedback from our last meeting. We also received some additional feedback, not through the patron input process, but also over email, and I think it's appropriate to bring it up now because there was some question as to whether or not decommissioning encompassed other terms such as repurposing or relocating, that was the committee's intention, that decommissioning would be a broader term that would include a whole variety of encompasses. Anything that basically says when you have to sort of take the existing school as commissioned and make some fundamental change to it, that would be considered part of the decommissioning process. So I think we'll bring it back to committee and see if the other committee members agree that is sufficient, or if we need to expand the language, or perhaps add some additional language in the accompanied administrative regulation. And I think also the administrative regulation probably could use a little bit more alignment to this new part in terms of the member, just to make sure that time frame is super tight between the two, but otherwise appreciate you bringing it to everyone's attention, and I think we'll be ready for a third reading, assuming that the committee is fine with those changes or not.
Other comments or questions? Thank you so much. We will now invite Mr. Dave Robertsoff for the very exciting presentation of the audit.
Thank you, Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. Bubb. This is always the most exciting point of the year, is presenting our annual audit. But before I introduce Kristen Diggs and Donna Lee, I just want to go through, I've sent you guys a memo that you went through some summaries of things. I just want to make a couple notes on that memo. Our annual financial statements for the year, our general fund balance lowered by 3.7 million. And that was intentional. Our budget had it lowering about $6 million initially. It was intentional. If you remember, a year ago, we received about $10 million from the state for enrollment versus attendance reporting, and we have a plan to spend that money in certain areas. Special ed is one that we're investing in over the next few years, so that will probably happen. At the end of the year, our fund balance was still $46.4 million, which is about 14.7% of our annual revenues, which is above the requirement that board policy requires. A couple other things. Our debt service fund balance dropped $34.8 million. That was, if you remember, last year, and I think Kristen will talk about this a little bit, we did a defeasance of debt and paid off a bunch of debt that way, plus the normal principal amounts that we paid off to get that cash down to the number that's required by law now with the changes in House Bill 292. And then finally, we had a massive increase in fund balance that we've talked about before in our capital projects fund, thanks to House Bill 521. We had a $144 million increase, which makes our fund balance, very, very large overall. But remember, all of those funds are dedicated for capital projects and modernization, so it can't be just spent on everything. So with that, those are some of the summaries, but I want to thank Donna Lee, she's the one that does the hard work in preparing this financial statement. I just get to come up here and look good. And she does all the work. And then Kristen Diggs, I'll introduce, is our auditor from Eide Bailey, that can give you some more details.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. So I'll kind of go through what happens during an audit, and this is similar to what you guys have heard in prior years for those board members that have been here for a while. So it's made up of two pieces. So we have what we call our single audit process that we start in the spring. It's where we look at the federal funds that were received by the district and expended by the district in the current fiscal year. We do a risk-based audit approach. So we look at the programs that are on rotation, what are new programs that are sunsetting, and see what we're going to test during the year. And then in June, we come out and we test the programs that we decide to test. We also, we wrapped up this testing during year end typically. So for the most part this year, we have the testing wrapped up for the single audit, but you will notice that we don't have a single audit report within the financial statements that you have. The reason for this, and I'll have it on a later slide, but the compliance supplement hasn't been issued yet for 2025. And we've been told it's imminent, but it still hasn't been issued. So until that comes out, we cannot issue the single audit report. So you will see that piece of it being held back until that compliance supplement finally does get issued. With the financial statements, this process also starts in the spring. We do a risk-based approach. We focus very heavily on the different revenue streams that the district receives during the year. Obviously, House Bill 521, which Dave talked about, was a big deal this year. It is a lot of money. We also look at the other material revenue streams that the district has, looking at it both by the fund level and at the government-wide level. And then we also confirm your material balances for assets, for liabilities. We do analytics, and then based upon that, we're able to form an opinion. So the program that we took a look at this year related to the single audit was your special education cluster. So that involves IDEA Part B, IDEA Part B preschool, and then the SLD professional development. Again, once the compliance supplement comes out, we will be able to issue that report. But for right now, everything's kind of waiting on hold, hopefully soon. With the financial statements, one of the things I do like to call out is in the financial statements that you have, similar to prior years, there are significant estimates that could vary from year to year based upon the different assumptions that are taken into account. One relates to the pensions, so your piece of the PERSI liability, as well as OPEB, so your piece of the sick leave plan that is part of the state, as well as your single employer plan. And then you also have your workers' comp, self-insurance, incurred but not reported liability. So that also is an estimate. With the significant transactions during the year, I only listed one, but you really did have two. So there was that defeasance of the $14.8 million associated with the 2018 BGO bonds. There was also the House Bill 521 where the district received $154 million in the current year. So as Dave talked to, you will see that capital projects fund balance increase significantly because of that money. And there are restrictions tied to it that will be looked at each year. We were able to issue an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. This is on pages 1 through 3 of the report. We also issued an unmodified opinion on internal control over financial reporting, and this is located on pages 61 through 62. And on this opinion, if we would have had any breakdown in internal controls, if we would have had any deficiencies, anything like that, when we went through and did our testing, this is where we'd have the opportunity to talk about it. We did it during our testing. There were no adjustments found as a result of our testing. We did have 4 past adjustments, and what these are is they're not material to the overall financial statements, but they are big enough to where we just have to let you know about them. So there are differences where management, when they looked at them, just said, you know, we're going to pass on them this year, and they relate to with the Juul settlement that took place a couple years ago under GASB standards. You are required to gross up your balance sheet related to it. Management has elected just to record it as the money comes in, which I don't disagree with, but we are required, because GAAP is a little bit different, we are required to just call that out. And so that was basically accounts receivable and deferred inflow of resources is just understated by about $212 So it doesn't affect the income statement at all. Another adjustment was, or past adjustment was to correct grant revenue recognized that related to the prior year that was trued up in the current year. This resulted in an understatement of grant revenue of about $230,000 in the current year. And then another one related to ASB difference in cash of about $76,000. That was an understatement. And then in the government-wide fund, so this is the first statement that you're going to see in the financial statements. There were some write-offs related to CIP in the current year where it was trued up. This related to prior year, and so it was just trued up in the current year. And so with that, I don't really have anything else unless anybody has any questions on the financial statements. I do want to say thank you to Dave, Donna, and everyone at the district. Everyone's awesome to work with. We really appreciate all their efforts because it is a long, drawn-out process. So,
Any comments or questions? Trustee Benetti?
Yeah, I really appreciate the work that's gone in, both on the district level and as well as from the firm. It's always nice to get a nice clean audit that you're willing to sign. For the benefit of the public, you mentioned, when you were talking about the past adjustment, you mentioned GAP.
Yep.
Can you just let people know what GAP stands for and what it means and why these are slightly different in
yep.
that world than ours?
Yep. So GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles, and so with your financials, we follow the Governmental Accounting Standards Board guidance, and so with that, with the dual settlement, I will say with that one is pretty much every government that we've dealt with is pretty much passed on it because you record it on a cash basis. That's how you care about stuff, and so it makes sense to me, but GAAP does not feel that same way. And some of it was where when they were going through and closing out certain grants and everything, because like the ESSER fund, that closed out in the current year and everything. And so there was true-ups related to it where they found it when they were reconciling everything. And so a lot of that stuff, it did relate to a prior year. They ran it through the current year and just passed on that prior year piece. That was a majority of it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. General comment. It's not for you. It's just a sort of general comment. So it's obviously nice to see your balance sheet expand.
Yeah.
Right, and that 154, we appreciate the legislature stepping up and really adhering to the responsibility for the fair and equitable education in the state. But as I always do when it comes to this, I think we also just need to keep things in perspective. We're a very large district, right? And that $154 million, which we deeply appreciate, is spread over 10 years. And it's $15 million per year over campuses, at least 57. Now we're going to have new schools, so that's going to increase, which roughly comes out to approximately $250,000 in maintenance per year per school, which when you put it in that perspective really helps you understand the challenges that we face. And so I always like to maintain that and use that not only as a point of reference to be able to say, as our taxes have reduced over the past 4 years by 99% for this school district, property taxes, and we're taking advantage of the opportunities that the state is providing for us, it still puts us in a position where we have to really do more with what we've been given. And I think this audit demonstrates for those of us who sort of dive into the numbers, both keeping our G&A low and effective use and efficient use of our money is something of which I'm particularly proud as a district. And so when you combine that, being able to reduce our taxes by 99%, and to be able to work with this degree of efficiency, and then to have our test scores be the highest that they've ever been 3 years running, it's just a remarkable achievement. And I just give my appreciation to everybody, our teachers, our parents, our staff, and of course, everybody that is ancillary to that for helping make that possible. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comments or questions? I just had one for you. You talked about the single audit report. Do you have any guess when you think that might be? You said it's just totally up in the air.
It's totally up in the air.
Yeah.
They've been promising it since May.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I like looking at that. So no, that's wonderful. All right. No other comments? Anything else that you guys need to add this evening? Okay, thank you so much. With that, I'm open to a motion on the 24-25 audit. Trustee Benetti.
I move that we accept the 24-25 audit as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee Redford.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is an executive session. Before I ask for a motion on this, I just want to clarify, because we do have someone that signed up for good of the order. That will happen after executive session. I would expect that to go a good half hour this evening. So if you want to get a coffee or something, feel free. All right, with that, I'm open to a motion. Trustee Redford.
I move that the board enter into executive session per Idaho Code 74-2061B to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent or public school student, and Idaho Code 74-2061F to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation or controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated. The mere presence of legal counsel at an executive session does not satisfy this requirement.
Is there a second? Trustee Benetti.
Second?
We'll do a roll call vote for this. Trustee Benetti.
Aye.
Trustee Redford. Aye. Vice Chair Zuna. Aye. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 4-0. We will enter exec session at 6:35 p.m. We'll resume open session at 17 p.m. I'm open to motions regarding executive session. Trustee Benetti.
I move that we remove employee A from administrative leave and allow him to return to work.
Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Redford. Now, I'm blanking. Do I need to roll call this, or can I just, okay, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I'm open to another motion. Trustee Benetti.
I move that we ratify the administration's decision to place employee B on administrative leave.
Is there a second? Trustee Redford.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I'm open to another motion. Trustee Benetti.
I move that we approve the administration's decision to place employee C on administrative leave and to continue such leave until a new recommendation is brought before the board.
Trustee Redford, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. That will take us to good of the order. Very excited. We have someone signed up this evening for the first time. Just like public comment, this will include that same kind of stipulation of 2 minutes. This is different, however, it can be in reference to just about anything, just never any personnel or individual, anything like that. So with that, if you would please come up, Rachel, and state your full name and to what you'd like to speak.
Hi, my name is Rachel Rose Dalton, and I am a mom and a business owner, and I've lived in the Treasure Valley my whole life. I've attended CUNA schools growing up, and my daughter has been in West Ada schools her entire life. Education has always been close to my heart. As a parent, I believe transparency and family involvement are essential for building trust and helping our children succeed. That belief led me to start a Moms for Liberty chapter here in Ada County. We already have more than 30 parents and community members ready to join, and interest keeps growing every week. The number one thing I hear from parents is simple. They want to be informed, connected, and engaged in what's happening in our schools. From the very beginning, our foundation will be relationship building. It matters deeply to me and to our group that we create a strong, positive partnership with you as school board members and with our administrators. My vision is that our chapter will be known for leading with kindness, respect, and service, a group that uplifts our schools, supports our teachers, and strengthens our community. Our goal is to work hand in hand with you, to listen, share parent perspectives, and support the great work already being done to make West Ada a place where students and teachers thrive. We hope to strengthen communication and connection between parents, administrators, and classrooms so everyone feels supported and informed. So thank you for your time tonight and for all that you do to serve students and our community. I look forward to partnering with you and finding new ways we can support one another in keeping education strong and families engaged. I'd love to meet with you after the meeting, and I'll also reach out to each board member via email to provide my contact information so we can stay connected moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes those that had signed up for good of the order. I wanted to take a second just to announce that the next meeting, October 27th, will include the Trustee 2 zone appointment. So we will have the 5 individuals that have applied for that. They will be here that evening. We'll have questions that the board will put together. I'll be the one that asks those, and our intent that evening is to choose someone to take that seat. So if anybody'd like to come and watch that, that will be a special meeting that will be held after the regular meeting. We'll just have a really short break, maybe 5-10 minutes. I plan to eat a sandwich, and then we'll go ahead and start. So that's the plan. And feel free to bring your own sandwiches as well. All right. Are there any future agenda items? All right. I'm open to a motion to adjourn. Trustee Redford.
Motion to adjourn for sandwiches.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We will conclude at 7:20. Have a lovely evening.